On a lighter note, Jake, the other thing that stood out for me here was you flipping the middle finger. We all know that your psychology in the ring is second to none, but at this time, the idea of a babyface making an obscene gesture was completely unheard of. Uh,
I'm
so,
not a baby face, so.
so can you walk us through that mindset a little bit?
Oh yeah. Well, they were wanting one thing, and I said no. And then I flipped them off to so tell them I didn't give a fuck. I was going to do it my way because I knew where we were going. I'm not going to let the people boo me into getting up and doing something. Not if it's not the right time. That's one of the things that pisses me off today. Guys go out and do extra moves just because the fans are quiet for a second. Let them be quiet. Maybe they're trying to get their breath, you know, especially these days.
Yeah, I mean, with the fast-paced action, gosh, it's you look down at your phone for a second and you've missed some insane
Yeah,
move or something. Uh, what is that the advice that you would give to young performers nowadays? Just slow
yeah,
down.
absolutely. Absolutely. Let people sell. Let them sell, man. That's what gets you over. Your selling's what gets you over, not your damned high spots.
And so, you always hear, at least I know that this was kind of like the old Memphis mantra is that, baby faces should be the primary sellers in the ring. So as a heel, what advice would you give to young performers today?
Well, as a heel, you got to sell at the right time. You got to learn to beg, get on your knees and beg. Oh, you can't. I can't imagine anybody doing that today. Nobody wants to get on their knees and beg. Are you kidding me? They'd probably rather die than do that
Why do you think that is?
because they're full of shit. Because they got their head up their ass. It's just I don't know, man. They're believing in the press too much. I think.
It's a weird perspective because, as a heel, it's if you're begging or you're begging off, that just makes you more of a coward and thereby
Exactly.
more
Exactly.
unlikable.
Nobody wants to be a coward.
Right.
They don't. They all want to be the toughest motherfucker. Well, there can only be one tough guy. One. And it's not them.
That's it, man. And then, I know that people are probably really concerned that like, okay, if I beg, it's gonna make my character weak, and that's
Yeah.
this irreparable situation. It's
That's
like
so foolish.
I feel like, and I think I've seen matches where you do this, where you're begging off, the guy like turns to the referee or something, you immediately stop begging and attack him,
Oh, yeah.
and so all of a sudden it's like, okay, he wasn't, he was just trying to stall this guy. He's not a coward.
That's right.
I
That's
don't know.
exactly what you do, man.
It's
You
it's
beg and
weird.
you plead and you promise, you lie, you try it all, man. Please, I'll never do that again. I swear to God, I'll never do that again. Oh, I think I'm having a heart attack. Oh, I'm having chest pains. Oh, chest pains. Oh, not good. Oh, somebody call a vet.
Man, it's interesting the way that the business has changed and kind of how like some of this, logic, and that's really what it boils down to is simple logic in many
Yeah,
respects. Some of it's just kind of lost.
yeah, it is. It really is. It's a shame.
It is. But I just thought it was really cool hearing about you on this house show, giving the finger to the fans. I mean, this is years before Austin would make his name being an anti-hero, and
Yeah,
now here you are doing it. And it's
yeah.
it's even more fascinating because of the way that you and your career would influence Steve Austin's. Did you see the business beginning to trend in the direction of anti-heroes at this time?
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was sliding that way. Definitely. People were tired of just the regular old, you know, white hat baby face that would, come in on a white stallion and always do the right thing. Because the bottom line is that people have been beat down so bad, whether it's taxes or just lack of work or whatever, they didn't think a good guy could win, you know?
Hmm.
And the bad guys just kept getting bigger and tougher and crazier and, more monstrous. Christ, what are you going to do? You can't go in there and not throw a punch or not. You gotta start unloading some of this shit. So that's kind of the way I went.
And yes, and it's I find it interesting seeing you as a babyface too, watching back some of this old stuff because, to your point, you weren't really a babyface. It's you're saying the right stuff to the audience, and
No.
you're kind of being a good guy, but at the same time, you're DDTing somebody. It's like this punishing, vicious move that you're breaking out at the end to win the match,
Yeah.
and then afterwards, after you
Putting
punish
a
somebody,
snake on them.
yes, then you're putting the snake on people.
Yeah, that's what a baby face does.
So it wasn't enough for you to get the win, not enough for you to probably concuss this guy or whatever,
Yeah.
if this is a shoot. Now all of a sudden you're humiliating him. It was just, you can see why it worked. People wanted, Hulk Hogan was coming out there with his American flag and his over the top music, and
Oh
he's
yeah.
flexing his guns at the end of every match, and you were just something completely different, something people hadn't seen. So it was just really neat to see it.